In Toronto, your HST is 13%, whereas here in Newfoundland, your HST is 15%. So I was planning to film this video outdoors, but today there's 50 kilometers an hour wind, so the sound is going to be terrible. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talks with Jinesh. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the difference between living in St. John's and in Toronto. The number one factor is going to be your cost of living. If you are living in Toronto, you can expect your one-bedroom apartment to be anywhere from $1,400 to $1,500 or even more, depending on the location. Whereas here in St. John's, one-bedroom apartment you can get for less than $1,000, and sometimes even a two-bedroom apartment you can get for less than $1,000. POU. POU means pay own utilities. So all your heat, light, everything you'll have to pay separately. Now, if you are coming here as an international student, what most people do is live on a sharing basis. So you just rent out a particular room, which you can expect here in St. John's anywhere from $400, $450 on a higher side. And especially now with the pandemic and everything, the real estate market is really hot. So everybody wants to sell their old properties and new people want to buy properties here. So it's difficult to get a room. So I've seen rent anywhere from $590, $600 even for a regular room that would be $450. But that's just the current situation. It won't last for very long. Whereas in Toronto, a room can be even more expensive than that. And most people in Toronto, what they do is, a couple of people together rent a full apartment and say, 4 or 5 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment. So then one room is shared between 2 people. Your rent will significantly decrease that way. But again, that compromise you have to make. Number 2 is tax. Now, paying tax is no fun, I know. In Toronto, your HST is 13%, whereas here in Newfoundland, your HST is 15%. So if you buy food items, then there is no tax on food, whereas if you buy prepared food, then you pay tax on that. But now things like a camera or a microphone or a phone mount or anything like that, paper, things that are non-edible, you have to pay tax on that, and that's 15%. Whereas in Toronto, it's only 13%. Now, this 2% may not seem a lot, but it really adds up. If in 1 year you spend $10,000 on miscellaneous items, then you are paying $1,500 in taxes in Newfoundland. Whereas in Toronto, you're only paying $1,300. So you're saving $200. This $200 you could use towards your groceries, towards anything you want, right? So that's one point to consider. Point number 3 is going to be your food. Now, food is more expensive here in Newfoundland, and the reason is because Newfoundland is an island. So getting the food from the mainland here is, the cost increases because of that. It has to go through ships and ferries and stuff, and that just increases the cost of food. Whereas in Toronto, I've lived in Toronto for a couple of months, and I've seen that food is cheaper there. And also, Toronto is a city of immigrants, so you will see lots of cultural food available. Any sort of food you want to try, you will have that available in Walmart also. Regular stores like Walmart, Maggi, Kurkure. These things that we find in India, you will find it in Walmart. Whereas here in St. John's, it's very less likely you will find things like that in Walmart. So that is one thing. Cultural diversity is significant in Toronto. Lots of cultural diversity you will see. Wherever you go in Toronto, you're going to see somebody from your community in India, from your place in India, Punjab, Hyderabad, wherever, from Pakistan, wherever you are, you're going to find somebody in Toronto. Whereas here, you may find, you may not find. It's like that. Point number 4, job market. The real question that most people are interested about is the job market, knowing more information on that. Now, if you have not watched my video on how to find a job, link is in the description. You can watch that and learn the different tricks and tips to find a job. You will definitely find more opportunities in Ontario. Ontario is the province and Toronto is the city in Ontario. So you'll definitely find more opportunities there just because of the number of people. It's huge. Lots of people there. Whereas in Newfoundland, there are less opportunities for jobs. Having that said, if you are in the IT sector, if you are in the IT industry, there are a lot of jobs here as well. Software developers never go out of a job here just because of there are so many startups coming up in Newfoundland, and startups always look to hire students from the university so that they can pay students less and students can get real experience for some money. So it's a win-win, and therefore I feel like if you're in the IT sector anywhere in Canada, you're going to be fine. If you were not in the IT department, that's okay. Toronto, you can always do your degree here in Newfoundland, the university, Memorial University, or you can start off your degree there in Toronto itself, and there are obviously many jobs there. Most people, what they do, because of the affordable tuition here in Newfoundland, they come here, do their program, and then they move out of the province to find more opportunities. Now, in St. John's, transportation is a big deal. If you are coming here for the first time to Newfoundland in St. John's to do your degree, then be prepared to have a little bit of a struggle and tough face with transportation, because buses here don't run very often. After 10 p.m. you can expect buses to stop. On the weekends, buses stop around 7 to 8 p.m. and if you have a job around Mount Pearl or the airport side, then coming to your home you have to take a cab. You have no other alternative. So that's why most people here often have a car in St. John's. It is a lot more easier if you own a car in St. John's to do your traveling and stuff, to get home from your part-time jobs, to get to classes and stuff. But having that said, maintaining a car is pretty expensive as well. Now in Toronto, the transport is amazing. You wouldn't have to worry about the transport at all in Toronto, because you have a subway which comes and goes every 3 to 4 minutes. The buses come every 7 to 8 minutes, and also you have streetcars. Streetcars are basically trams, what we have in India, trams. Similarly here you have trams only, but they are labeled as streetcars. So transportation is a pretty good setup in Toronto. Now the cost of transportation is more in Toronto. It's around $156 for the monthly pass, whereas here in Newfoundland it's only $78 for the monthly pass. Now also the benefit of the transportation here in Newfoundland is that if you recharge your card, say from the 15th of the month, your card will be valid for the 15th of the next month. Whereas in Toronto, if you recharge it on the 15th of the month, it will only be valid for the 15 days, the remaining 15 days of the month. It will not be valid till the next 15 days of the next month. So you have to, if you want the monthly pass, you have to recharge on the first in order to get the full 30 days. So that's one thing I don't like, but it is what it is. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, entertaining, then give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already for more information, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I will see you in the next episode. Talk to you later.